Goeiedag. Good day, fellow South Africans, and I have to tell you that I've had another very interesting email from one of my regular subscribers. And Charles, guess what? You're wrong, and you're not often wrong, but you're wrong this time, because Charles says this is probably too contentious for you to actually publish, and it's not. It's right on the money. And you know that this channel is about alerting the world to what is going on in South Africa. And I think Charles has written this in response to my recent post about faction fights in Chigela River Valley. And I'll just read to you what he wrote to me in the email. What I write here is probably too contentious to make into a video, so perhaps better if you did not for now anyway. Too late, buddy. It's in there. It's happening. Okay. He says, I grew up in rural Natal, somewhere in the area between Pietermaritzburg and Howick, which is Zulu country. Now, that's a beautiful part of the world. Howick is just, wow, wild country. It's beautiful. Anyway, as my late father used to say, we all lived in South Africa at the will of the Zulus. The Zulus are the biggest tribe, and after them come the Xhosas. During the Mfecane 1800s, the Zulus wiped out most of the people living in South Africa, but the Xhosas resisted them. The Zulus still hold themselves higher than the other tribes and have particular contempt for the northern tribes that ran away during the Mfecane. They do have some respect for the Xhosa though. Now, let me just give you a very simple history lesson here. The reason why the Xhosas landed up right on the eastern side of the Cape, far away from what was then Zululand, is because of the Zulus. The Zulus basically hunted them out of their territory. And the reason why the Griquas were able to move into East Griqualand, which was basically an empty piece of land, because of what happened a few years before, was because the Pondos, who used to live in what was then called no man's land, moved out of that area and closer towards the coast to escape from the Zulus. The Zulus were a very vengeful, very violent people, and nothing much has changed when you look at the culture. And you just have to look at what's happening in South Africa to see that. But let's get back to Charles's email. Okay. The Zulu and the Xhosa languages are different to the northern languages. In particular, Zulu and Xhosa do not have the R sound. They can't go, really, because it's not part of their language. And many Zulus cannot say it. The rand coin is called Ilandi by Zulus and Xhosa. My name has an R in it, and Zulus would use an L sound instead. Now, along comes Cyril Ramaphosa, who has an R in both his names. He is the first ANC leader that is neither a Zulu nor a Xhosa. By his name, he is obviously a lowly northerner. Whenever they even hear his name, they will be smarting that they are being controlled by a northerner, and that will not sit well. Xhosa animosity is there, but perhaps not as strong. By the way, Malema is also a northerner and cannot speak Xhosa. Zuma, the Zulu face of the ANC, kept some level of peace between the Zulus and the ANC. Now that he has been pushed out, unfairly, many Zulus would say, even though he was as corrupt as they come, the Zulus will likely want some revenge on Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa has not faced an election yet and does so for the first time. without being able to count on any support from the 12 million Zulus in the country. And here lies the problem. And this is why I have been saying that Ramaphosa is looking for an excuse to have a state of emergency so that the election is postponed or just done away with. If there is a shutdown, it is likely to be Zulu and maybe Xhosa versus the rest. The Moy River incident is not happening in a vacuum. Trucks were set on fire on the N3 near Howick a few weeks back. The whole of KwaZulu-Natal could easily ignite into anti-Ramaphosa and anti-ANC rebellion, and it could be back to the 1980s when black-on-black factional violence was rife. And that's the time that I'm talking about, when I was in Greytown. The difference is that last time, up to a third of the army, the South African Defence Force, was running around keeping the peace. This time there is nothing to do so. I cannot see the tensions mixing well with the unavoidable civil strife due to a fail of Eskom. And Charles used to work for Eskom, so he knows a bit about the company, and he knows a bit about how the whole electricity system works. And in his own words, Charles is saying, I cannot see the tension mixing well with the unavoidable civil strife due to Eskom failing. Okay guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great day. Bye for now.